Hey, what's up? This is Alfreda's with the Urban One Podcast Network. Let me introduce you to today's sponsor, Chamberlain University. There's a pattern among successful people in any industry. They surround themselves with the right support. And in healthcare, that support starts at Chamberlain University. For over 130 years, Chamberlain has been helping nurses and healthcare professionals fulfill their calling. It's the largest nursing school in the country, offering flexible learning, real mentorship, and a network of over 160,000 professionals. Because progress isn't just about working harder. It's about having the right people in your corner. You got this, and Chamberlain has got you. Get started at chamberlain.edu.Chamberlain University. Belong to something greater. Certified to operate by Chev.
A determined young dad in San Antonio, fueled by ambition and overflowing with love, suddenly disappears, leaving his family in a state of panic amid the eerie silence. Was it a love triangle that spiraled out of control? Could it be a case of mistaken identity? Or is there a darker, lurking wolf hiding in sheep's clothing? What happens when love becomes fatal? This is the Fatal Attraction Podcast with Sister Act.
January 17th, 2010. It's Sunday morning in San Antonio, Texas, one of the state's oldest and largest cities.
We have a lot of history here. There's the Alamo, which I think most people around the world are familiar with.
It's a great place to live, great place to raise a family.
But that morning, while most families in the River City are going to church or enjoying a relaxing weekend, one family is gripped by panic.
We all went to the police station together to file a missing person report.
They were desperate to locate 26-year-old Sam Johnson Jr.
Samuel didn't contact my parents on their anniversary. That was so unlike Samuel.
I don't care where my kids are, they call mom and dad. That's been a constant for 26 years.
But it's been 4 days since anyone has seen or heard from Sam.
When I did not hear from my son, something was up.
Something's wrong.
Born in San Antonio, Sam Johnson Jr. was the kind of child any parent would be proud to have.
He had a book in his hand all the time. He started reading when he was 4.
Samuel was inquisitive. He was the type of kid that always wanted to know why something is the way it is.
He was also a caring big brother.
When the other kids came along, Sam, he just stepped in and he said, "Mom, what do you need me to do?"
He was my rock. He was the one I looked up to besides my father.
After high school, Sam worked several jobs to save up for college.
He wanted to be a lawyer. He would debate you on anything.
He was looking forward to school.
And he wasn't looking for love.
He was working and Erica would come into the store and he would help her out because he was working in customer service.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. Casually, we started up a conversation and I noticed that he was really attractive. I could be, a little flirty,
So, got any big plans for the New Year's?
No, I got nothing going on.
Well, how about we do nothing together?
And he wrote his phone number down on the receipt.
20-year-old Erica Hinton called Sam later that day, and soon they were inseparable.
Samuel and Erica, man, that was a power couple. That relationship was awesome.
We were really best friends.
They even remained friends when the romance cooled.
When I met Sam, he was 19. I was going on 21, and we think we're grown and we think we know it all, and we don't know much about love.
Samuel and Erica were on and off a lot.
It was during one of those off periods that Sam met Vanessa Cameron.
He was working at Antioch Sports Center, and he met her there.
Hey, need a spotter?
Thanks, I got it.
Yeah.
Vanessa was beautiful. Tall, slender, athletic, very pretty.
And to everyone's surprise, she was soon very pregnant.
He told me about it, and that was one of those kind of serious brother-to-brother talks. And we were like, what are you gonna do? Are you serious about this? He was like, yeah, like, this is what I wanna do.
Vanessa gave birth to a son.
Having that child became his focus. It became his life.
Samuel as a father was absolutely amazing.
But their idyllic family life was soon marred by tragedy.
In April of 2009, there was a fire at the home that Vanessa shared with Sam.
Everyone was okay, but they lost everything.
Vanessa, Sam, and the baby rented a small apartment with Vanessa's sister, Susan Sutton, and her boyfriend, Daryl Collier.
That was a mess. How is that possible to have that many adults in a 2-bedroom apartment?
Money was as tight as the quarters.
He had just gotten a full-time job as a bus driver.
It was not enough, so he went and got another job.
As financial pressures mounted, Sam's relationship with Vanessa couldn't take the strain.
I told him straight up, I said, look, you can be a father without being around Vanessa.
Leaving his son with Vanessa, Sam made the tough decision to move in with his brother.
He still made sure that he was there for his son if his son needed anything.
And before long, Sam reconnected with his first love.
We decided we're gonna make this work.
It wasn't long after they reconnected that Erica had some big news for Sam.
I put a little package together, and so he came over, and I give him the gift. He sees the pregnancy test, and he smiles really big.
Yeah?
Yeah, are you happy?
Of course. Dang, babe. Yes. Oh, my goodness.
Sam was living a life with a future. It seemed that he was happy and he was looking forward.
But now, Sam's family has reported him missing.
I knew something wasn't right.
His phone's going straight to voicemail.
After filing the missing persons report with the San Antonio police, the family spends the rest of the day searching for Sam.
We all got in the car and we went to look for him. We looked everywhere, and when we got back home, there was a card in the door.
I pulled that card quickly because my wife was 2 steps behind me.
What does it say?
It's a detective and his phone number.
I called and talked to the sergeant.
Yes, this is Sam Johnson, Sr. I got your card from my door.
But it isn't good news.
I'm afraid that we found your son.
He had a look on his face like he had seen a ghost.
He's gone.
My mom fell to the floor yelling.
It was the most horrific moment of my life.
My parents have lost their firstborn.
Stay tuned as new discoveries come to light.
Hey, what's up? This is Alfreda's with the Urban One Podcast Network. Let me introduce you to today's sponsor, Chamberlain University. There's a pattern among successful people in any industry. They surround themselves with the right support. And in healthcare, that support starts at Chamberlain University. For over 130 years, Chamberlain has been helping nurses and healthcare professionals fulfill their calling. It's the largest nursing school in the country, offering flexible learning, real mentorship, and a network of over 160,000 professionals. Because progress isn't just about working harder. It's about having the right people in your corner. You got this, and Chamberlain has got you. Get started at chamberlain.edu.Chamberlain University. Belong to something greater. Certified to operate by Chev.
McCrispy strips are now at McDonald's. I hope you're ready for the most dippable chicken in McDonald's history. Dip it in all the sauces. Dip it in that hot sauce in your bag. Dip it in your McFlurry. Your dip is your business. McCrispy strips at McDonald's.
Hey all, I'm Jamie Lynn Sigler, a mom, actor, and advocate. I know how overwhelming it can be trying to decide which treatment is right for you. I've been there. But you should know you're not alone. You can do this. Start with some research, talk to the community, and most importantly, don't be afraid to ask your doctor questions. You might find results that speak for themselves. That's how I landed on Kesimpta. Ask your doctor if Kesimpta, ofatumumab, could be right for you. You can check out the details at kesimpta.com.
After his relationship with Vanessa Cameron fell apart, Sam Johnson Jr. took a step back and started over with his first love.
He was very excited that he had reconnected with Erica.
They had a new baby on the way.
He wanted to have a great relationship and have something just like our parents have.
But now, just hours after the family reported him missing, police have informed them that Sam is dead.
He's gone.
And daughter and wife screamed. It was the most horrifying scream you could ever imagine.
I couldn't breathe. All we did was hug each other.
According to detectives, a local man had found Sam's body that morning in an East San Antonio cemetery.
The witness that found him actually thought he was sleeping in the cemetery. It wasn't until the witness gets closer and goes, "Oh my God, he's dead."
He had gunshot wounds. That was pretty obvious.
It's equally obvious he hadn't been shot in the cemetery.
There was no blood on the ground. There were no shell casings. There were no calls of shots being fired in that area.
The body was placed on the ground like in a delicate manner.
That's why the man who found him had initially thought Sam had been sleeping.
That's not the way we find our crime scenes. If you're gonna commit a murder, you're gonna drag it, roll it, throw it.
Homicide detectives initially had no idea who Sam was.
We did check his pockets to see if he had any identification on him, which he did not.
But they did have a way to find out.
In Texas, when you get your driver's license or state-issued ID card, they take your thumbprint. So we have the medical examiner send off a victim's thumbprint to see if we can't get a match.
The medical examiner was also able to provide some details about how Sam died.
He had been shot a total of 6 times.
There was a bullet wound here in the chin and into the chest. And she said, for this to be possible, I can tell you he was below the shooter.
Once detectives determined Sam's identity, they had attempted to contact the family.
No one was home, so we left a card in their front door asking them to please call the police department.
The family had been unable to locate Sam, but the police did.
It was the most horrific moment of my life to realize that my firstborn was no longer with me.
He's gone.
While giving the family time to collect themselves and make their way down to the station for formal statements, detectives are handed more potential evidence from Sam's murder.
Detective Bauer? As soon as Sam was reported missing, his vehicle is put into our system as missing.
It was discovered on the south side of San Antonio.
After transporting the car to the crime lab, police had discovered bloodstains in the trunk lining.
There was no blood anywhere other than in the trunk, and there were no shell casings and no bullet holes, so don't think that's our murder scene.
The car had been wiped down, so the detectives were unable to recover any fingerprints or DNA.
which means that when Sam's family arrives at the station that evening, detectives are anxious to get any information they can give them.
We needed a starting off point. We were getting statements from the family members to find out where did they last see him and is he in any kind of trouble.
The entire family appears just as anxious to cooperate with the investigation.
They literally showed up in the homicide office with Sam Jr.'s fiancée, Erica.
Erica was pregnant with Sam's baby. They were really upset.
But even through her tears, Erica is determined to talk to the detectives.
When did you last see Sam?
On Wednesday.
She said he was at my house. He said he was leaving to go to Vanessa's house.
Who's Vanessa?
His ex-girlfriend. They have a child together.
I distinctly remember telling her that if anything happened to Sam, that Vanessa was behind it.
I'm done. I'm done with this.
Stay tuned for more of this enthralling story on the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
Hey, what's up? This is Alfreda's with the Urban One Podcast Network. Let me introduce you to today's sponsor, Chamberlain University. There's a pattern among successful people in any industry. They surround themselves with the right support. And in healthcare, that support starts at Chamberlain University. For over 130 years, Chamberlain has been helping nurses and healthcare professionals fulfill their calling. It's the largest nursing school in the country, offering flexible learning, real mentorship, and a network of over 160,000 professionals. Because progress isn't just about working harder. It's about having the right people in your corner. You got this, and Chamberlain has got you. Get started at chamberlain.edu.Chamberlain University. Belong to something greater. Certified to operate by Chev.
McCrispy strips are now at McDonald's. I hope you're ready for the most dippable chicken in McDonald's history. Dip it in all the sauces. Dip it in that hot sauce in your bag. Dip it in your McFlurry. Your dip is your business. McCrispy strips at McDonald's.
Hey all, I'm Jamie Lynn Sigler, a mom, actor, and advocate. I know how overwhelming it can be trying to decide which treatment is right for you. I've been there. But you should know you're not alone. You can do this. Start with some research, talk to the community, and most importantly, don't be afraid to ask your doctor questions. You might find results that speak for themselves. That's how I landed on Kesimpta. Ask your doctor if Kesimpta, ofatumumab, could be right for you. You can check out the details at kesimpta.com.
Sam Johnson Jr.'s fiancée has just told detectives investigating his murder that she suspects his ex-girlfriend, Vanessa Cameron, may have something to do with his death.
Like, she does have the capability of doing something so heinous as taking someone's life.
Sam's fiancée, Erica, also claimed that Vanessa had the opportunity to kill him too.
Erica revealed that Sam had been at her house and left to stop by Vanessa's to collect some money that she owed him on his way to work.
But Sam never showed up for his shift as a City of San Antonio bus driver.
The plan was for him to do his route and to come back, and that didn't happen.
So now we know the last person that saw Sam, well, possibly one of the last people that saw Sam, was Vanessa.
But had he gone to Vanessa's, as Erica claimed?
What did you do that day after Sam left?
I went to church. I sang in the choir.
And what makes you think that Vanessa would want to hurt Sam?
That's just the type of person she was.
She was very manipulative. If he didn't do exactly what she wanted, she would say, well, you're not gonna see baby Sam, because if she wasn't happy, he wasn't seeing his son.
Erica says that there was almost no limit to what Vanessa would do to dominate Sam.
Maybe a year or so before he was killed, they had been arguing and not getting along, and he locked himself in the bathroom because he was just trying to get away from all of the hostility, all of the name calling, just a tumultuous situation. And so she ended up calling the police.
She was claiming that he was in the bathroom and was going to kill himself. The police ended up at their home.
He ended up going into a mental facility for about a week.
It was while he was in the hospital for evaluation that he reconnected with Erica.
We would talk every day while he was there, and that's when I knew their time was winding down.
But Erica says that even after he and Vanessa broke up and he started seeing her again, he always tried to keep them separate.
I just remember telling Sam, like, how about we all just get together, have a conversation? And he always told me, no, that would never work.
As a matter of fact, he didn't even want her to know that we were engaged.
He didn't tell her?
No.
He was ecstatic about moving forward with Erica and everything like that, but he also was so reserved about, man, I don't know what Vanessa gonna do, man. If Vanessa find out, stuff is gonna really hit the fan.
But did that mean Vanessa was behind Sam's murder?
Erica thought that Vanessa was a very bad person and just knew that Vanessa had something to do with the murder.
It was almost presented like all of Sam's problems was because of her.
Or was Erica a little too quick to point the finger at Vanessa?
At that point, we knew that Erica's house was his last known location.
We'll be in touch.
They only had Erica's word that he had been heading to Vanessa's when he disappeared.
Still, after talking to Erica and the family, detectives start looking into Vanessa's background.
The first thing we're going to do is run a name through our databases to see if this person has any kind of criminal history.
She didn't have any record that would lead me to believe she was a murderer.
That's also the impression detectives get when they contact Vanessa and ask her to come in for an interview.
Vanessa came in without hesitation. She was very cooperative and said she wanted to be as helpful as possible.
I have to read your rights. That's just procedure. I need to do that. Is that okay with you? That's fine.
The formalities out of the way, it quickly becomes apparent that Vanessa couldn't have killed Sam.
She was out of town.
She said she had been gone all week visiting a friend.
And where does she live?
She was hundreds of miles away.
According to Vanessa, she'd left on Tuesday the 12th, the day before Sam went missing.
How'd you get to the airport? He drove me. Sam took you to the airport?
She says she didn't know for sure that Sam was missing until she came back, but she had a feeling something was up.
Me and Sam text every day. We talk every day. And so I started getting concerned.
Okay, no text or phone calls?
Nothing.
Okay.
Vanessa also says that as soon as she heard that Sam was dead, she knew who was behind it.
She told me to look at Erica.
I mean, we have to put it out there. I think she had something to do with this.
Vanessa told detectives that Sam was leaving Erica.
She said their relationship was toxic.
I think that she is obsessed with Sam.
Stay tuned for more of the Fatal Attraction podcast. You won't want to miss what happens next.
Sam Johnson Jr.'s ex-girlfriend, Vanessa Cameron, has just told homicide detectives that she suspects he may have been murdered by his fiancée, Erica Hinton.
Here they were, pointing the finger at each other.
What makes you think that Erica had something to do with this?
Too strange. It's like she wants a relationship with him, and then now she's saying that she is his fiancée.
Vanessa says that if it's true, and they are engaged, Erica probably tricked Sam into it.
I believe that she told him she was pregnant.
She also believes that Sam may have been having second thoughts.
He asked me for $340.
Okay, when did he ask for $340?
On the 13th. On the 13th.
She said Sam had texted her while she was in Mississippi.
He told me the $340 was for an apartment.
She said that he told her he needed to borrow the money so he could move out of his brother's place.
Only now, Vanessa's convinced the $340 was for something else.
Today I went and there's a women's choice or whatever across the street from his work. I went over there and it's exactly $340 for an abortion. Exactly $340.
Okay. And so you think it was for Erica?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you give him this money since you were in Mississippi?
I told him to go get it from Sue.
Sue is Vanessa's sister, Susan Sutton.
Susan and her boyfriend, Derek Collier, live with Vanessa.
Do you know when he went over there?
On Wednesday.
Which means that Sam had gone to Vanessa's as Erica claimed. But did Erica know why?
Maybe Sam had been planning to wait until after he had the money to approach Erica about having an abortion.
He told her he didn't want that baby. I truly believe that.
According to Vanessa, that's why she thought Erica had killed him.
However, since Sam had met with Susan on the night he disappeared, detectives asked her to come in for an interview.
They needed to firm up the timeline leading up to when Sam had gone missing.
During the interview, Susan confirms that Sam did come by Vanessa's apartment that evening.
He came, he got the money, and then I went upstairs. I actually did not see him leave. Oh, okay. But I do know that he had left.
But detectives aren't entirely sure Vanessa's sister is telling them the whole truth.
Susan Sutton was no stranger to the San Antonio police.
Susan was a drug user, a drug addict, and she was always out on the streets.
Maybe Susan and her boyfriend killed Sam and then kept Vanessa's $340.
Or could there be even more to the story?
While that was happening, one of our undercover detectives came voluntarily into the office and said, "Hey, I need to talk to you and Detective Bauer." He said, "You guys need to know that last year, Vanessa and Susan contacted someone about killing Sam for some insurance money."
I've never had a detective come and tell me that he had information about somebody wanting to kill the person that I am now investigating as a victim.
When detectives speak to the informant Vanessa had allegedly approached, he is able to give them more details.
So you a gangbanger? I was like, well, I used to do that, but I don't do that no more. And she's like, we just let you can handle yourself, and if I was to call you, I will call you to handle somebody, I will pay you.
When she said to handle somebody, what did you take that to mean?
The way she was saying it, that she wanted somebody knocked out, killed.
He said several months went by and nothing was ever said about it again.
But was it possible the sisters had followed through on their plan?
Detective Bauer got on the phone and she started calling the insurance clearinghouse to find out if in fact there was a life insurance policy on Sam, and there was. It was $750,000. And Vanessa was listed as the beneficiary.
Turns out, it wasn't the first time Vanessa had cashed in on tragedy either.
We also discovered that several months prior, there had been a horrendous house fire at Vanessa's house, and they had received a little over $300,000. In addition to the year prior, a vehicle claim had been made for an arson, and they had received insurance money on that vehicle.
While the insurance payoffs are enough to convince detectives that Vanessa and her sister knew more about Sam's death than they were letting on, detectives are still a long way from making an arrest.
Detectives had a motive, but they didn't have any evidence to prove that Vanessa was behind the murder.
Until later that week, detectives catch a lucky break.
The homicide office received a phone call from a lady,
Detective Miller.
And she says, I have information on a murder.
She says, my daughter lives in Mississippi, and she is the best friend of Vanessa Cameron.
Her daughter was the friend that Vanessa was visiting when the murder occurred.
On January 13th, Vanessa told her friend that her sister, Susan Sutton, had just called her and said that Sam was dead.
Sam's body wouldn't be found until the 17th.
Stay tuned as new discoveries come to light.
Hey, what's up? This is Alfreda's with the Urban One Podcast Network. Let me introduce you to today's sponsor, Chamberlain University. There's a pattern among successful people in any industry. They surround themselves with the right support. And in healthcare, that support starts at Chamberlain University. For over 130 years, Chamberlain has been helping nurses and healthcare professionals fulfill their calling. It's the largest nursing school in the country, offering flexible learning, real mentorship, and a network of over 160,000 professionals. Because progress isn't just about working harder. It's about having the right people in your corner. You got this, and Chamberlain has got you. Get started at chamberlain.edu.Chamberlain University. Belong to something greater. Certified to operate by Chev.
McCrispy strips are now at McDonald's. I hope you're ready for the most dippable chicken in McDonald's history. Dip it in all the sauces. Dip it in that hot sauce in your bag. Dip it in your McFlurry. Your dip is your business. McCrispy strips at McDonald's.
Hey all, I'm Jamie Lynn Sigler, a mom, actor, and advocate. I know how overwhelming it can be trying to decide which treatment is right for you. I've been there. But you should know you're not alone. You can do this. Start with some research, talk to the community, and most importantly, don't be afraid to ask your doctor questions. You might find results that speak for themselves. That's how I landed on Kesimpta. Ask your doctor if Kesimpta, ofatumumab, could be right for you. You can check out the details at kesimpta.com.
A witness has told detectives investigating the murder of Sam Johnson Jr. that his ex-girlfriend, Vanessa Cameron, knew he was dead on January the 13th.
That was 4 days before the police found his body in a San Antonio cemetery.
She clearly had advance information that he was dead.
According to her friend's mother, Vanessa spent the rest of her trip in Mississippi acting like it too.
Vanessa goes shopping and is getting her hair done. She's buying a black dress that she's telling these people that she's going to wear to the funeral.
When detectives follow up with Vanessa's friend Tamara in Mississippi, she confirms what her mother told police.
She says that Vanessa received a phone call saying that Sam had been beaten up by her sister and cousins and that they went too far and that he was dead.
Although detectives doubt Vanessa's claim that Sam's death was some sort of accident.
They suspected the whole trip to Mississippi had been an excuse to be out of town when Sam was killed, to give herself an alibi.
She even has Sam drive her to the airport for her alibi. That is just so cold-hearted.
Once they're off the phone with Vanessa's friend in Mississippi, detectives ask Vanessa and her sister to come in for another interview.
The detectives had led them to believe it was a follow-up interview to flesh out the timeline of Sam's disappearance.
However, detectives split up the sisters and questioned them separately.
Detective Bauer and I always tag team if we have more than one suspect. We decided she would interview Vanessa and I would interview Susan.
It's only after Vanessa is in the interview room that Detective Bauer drops the pretense that she's just after routine information.
Did you kill Sam?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you know who killed Sam?
No, I do not.
Okay.
So now we hit her up with your friend. Tamara has already told us that you received a call that he was beaten and then was killed.
I do know who killed Sam. Do you want to know who that is?
That's when Vanessa changed her story.
She admitted that she knew about the murder.
I'm not involved. My sister, I asked my sister.
Vanessa says she first learned about it when she called Susan from Mississippi.
I called Sue, and she said he fell. She just kept saying that he fell. She wasn't there. She told me she wasn't there. She said, I gave him the money and I went upstairs.
However, Vanessa said Susan eventually admitted that her boyfriend Daryl and his cousin Lakeisha Brown attacked Sam when he came over to pick up the money.
Got the money?
Yes, over here. You wanna?
340, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's about right.
You said you hadn't counted?
Yeah. No.
He got hit in the head with a 2x4 or something like that.
Then, according to Vanessa, they put Sam in the trunk of his car, drove him outside the city.
I wasn't there.
I know.
We know you weren't there. We know you were in Mississippi.
If I'd have just been there.
Vanessa suggested that if she'd been there, she could have saved Sam's life.
While Vanessa is hanging her sister out to dry, Susan is down the hall, sticking to her story.
I texted Vanessa to let her know Sam's got his money. You know, I called her. She didn't answer her phone, which, you know, she was having a good time and stuff. But me and Vanessa, we talk off and on all the time. You know, so I called her to let her know he got the money.
But after a short break, the interview takes a drastic turn.
Lisa had actually came back and hit Susan up with, you know, your sister is over there spilling her guts to Kim, you know, so you might as well tell me what you know.
You knew what was going to happen when he came home? When I hit her with, I know that you and your boyfriend killed Sam, she said, there's no way that my sister told you that.
But the detective kept pressing.
I thought she was the weak link in this whole crime.
And as it turned out, the detective was right.
She says, I love my sister, but she's evil, and she always has been.
Has been evil since we were little.
I really felt bad for her. You could tell she was very much influenced by Vanessa.
She's used me every day of my life. Every day, I swear to you, she used me as my mom.
Vanessa exerted all kinds of control over Susan for Susan's entire life, telling Susan what to do all the time.
And according to Susan, that included killing Sam.
The original plan was for me to do it.
Stay tuned for more of this enthralling story on the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
Susan Sutton has just told detectives that her sister, Vanessa Cameron, was behind the murder of Vanessa's ex-boyfriend, Sam Johnson Jr.
I know that.
Obviously, if Vanessa Cameron is in Mississippi, then we know that she's got to have somebody helping her.
What did she tell you she wanted you to do? She wanted me to get a gun and shoot Sam.
Vanessa wanted her to be the fall person, to take responsibility for the murder because she had some mental issues.
But in the end, Susan was no killer.
When it comes time to commit the actual murder, she says she can't do it.
So Susan had turned to her boyfriend, Daryl Collier.
According to Susan, Daryl helps because he knows that she just isn't capable of carrying through a murder.
He loves me so much. I love him.
I know, and she knew that.
Susan says that Daryl had also recruited his cousin, Lakeisha Brown, to help.
Susan lures Sam over to the house, telling him she has money to give him.
Apparently, the cash for Sam was part of the little bit of money they had left from the payouts on the house fire that happened before they broke up.
Got that money?
Yes, right here. It should all be here. I haven't counted it. Did you want to?
340, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Susan says that while they were talking, Lakeisha had slipped behind Sam.
He was struck when he wasn't looking with a 2x4.
And I just kind of lost it, so I went back upstairs.
Susan wants no part of the actual assault, kidnapping, or murder.
With Susan upstairs, Daryl and Lakeisha immobilized Sam.
Daryl handcuffs him, ties his legs with rope.
He was stuffed into the trunk of his own vehicle, and he was driven east of San Antonio.
Once there, they hauled Sam out of the trunk.
He is thrown on the ground, and that's when the gun comes out.
Whoa, man, please don't kill me. Oh, please don't kill me. Oh.
He begs for his life. He asks them not to do it.
Sorry.
And that's when he is shot 6 times.
From there, they loaded Sam's body back into the trunk of his car and returned to San Antonio to ditch the body.
Vanessa just said that he had to be found
to collect the insurance.
Susan's story gives detectives more than enough evidence against Vanessa.
She told it all.
But before making any arrests, detectives bring Daryl and Lakeisha in for questioning.
I couldn't believe they came in. I figured for sure they would have just run.
Although when detectives confront Daryl with what Susan already told them, he denies everything.
If you don't give me your story, all we can go with is what they have already told us.
Well, whatever they told you, that's what they told you.
Daryl knew to keep his mouth shut.
Lakeisha, on the other hand, was very talkative and very willing to tell me all about the role she played in this murder.
I hit him with a board. A small board. Okay.
But while she admits to hitting Sam, Lakeisha swears she didn't know Daryl was going to kill him.
She told me that all she knew is that Daryl told her, we're going to get Sam because he beats up Vanessa. And when I explained to her that they were going to get Sam for the insurance money, she seemed a little taken aback.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am.
So they did all this to get the life insurance money?
Yeah.
After Lakeisha confirms everything Susan told them, detectives sit back down with Vanessa.
They'd been holding her in an interrogation room this entire time.
Are you sure you want to stick with that story, or do you want to tell us what happened?
Ultimately, she admitted to detectives that it was her idea.
But she insists it wasn't about the money.
What was it about?
I just felt like it would be better. He caused so much heartache.
Once Vanessa's interview is over, detectives place her and her 3 conspirators under arrest.
Once the whole squad was brought in and charges were filed and they were arrested, it was kind of a relief.
Susan and Lakeisha both took plea arrangements with the DA's office.
But Daryl refused to cooperate.
He never answered any questions, never gave anything away.
Daryl's silence serves him well. When he goes on trial in October of 2013, he's acquitted of all charges.
In Texas, you can't convict someone of murder just based on co-defendant testimony.
Will Vanessa be as lucky?
She really played the part of someone who was grieving.
She also claimed that killing Sam had been Susan's idea.
But would it be enough to overcome the evidence against her?
She'd made incriminating statements to the police, and she stood to gain $750,000 from Sam's life insurance.
Right there, that screams motive.
The jury agrees.
They hand in their guilty verdict.
She got life in prison, and she's exactly where she needs to be.
Getting that life sentence, it was a bit of closure for me.
But in the end, Sam's 2 sons will never get the father they deserve.
One of them only has a couple years worth of memories of his father. The other one, he'll never get to even know him.
They will never know his touch. They will never know anything about their father except from us.
No child should have to endure life without their father.
Who could bring themselves to harm a young father filled with hope for a better future for his family? This haunting question has echoed throughout history in stories of love, conflict, and greed. However, detectives, staying one step ahead, were able to unravel the mystery behind this senseless tragedy. Samuel Johnson Jr.'s untimely death poignantly reminds us that not everyone can be trusted in matters of the heart and the temptation of wealth. Samuel Johnson Jr. will be cherished in the hearts of his children and those who loved him. Coming up on the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast.
She was dreaming of her name in lights.
Hey y'all, it's your girl Brayla.
She was into fashion, into music.
She had over 5,000 followers on her social media.
The sky was the limit.
And she soon found someone to ride with her to the top.
This was the one person that she felt like she could be herself around.
They really bonded over their love for music.
Until the music went silent.
In the heart of North Little Rock, Arkansas, a young teenager dreams of stardom, fueled by her captivating personality and aspirations for a successful music career. However, she suddenly goes missing. Her phone calls cease, leaving her parents in a panic as they fear the dark surprises that may be lurking just around the corner. Tune in to the next episode of the Fatal Attraction Podcast. We will see you in the next episode.
McCrispy strips are now at McDonald's. I hope you're ready for the most dippable chicken in McDonald's history. Dip it in all the sauces. Dip it in that hot sauce in your bag. Dip it in your McFlurry. Your dip is your business. McCrispy strips at McDonald's.